Okay, so welcome to Brew on It. My name is Megan, and I am finding out really quickly with this whole YouTube thing how hard it is to find a quiet place to film. So I have 3 children, and they are in the age of being social. I have 2 teenager girls, and it seems like they're always on the phone with somebody. And I have a 10-year-old son who loves to play video games. And if your kids are anything like mine, you know that there are moments of quiet where you're wondering where they are. And then there'll be these outbursts because they just lost something on the game or whatever. And it can be quite startling to try to film a video with that going on in the house. So I escaped outside back to my sanity spot. This is where I read a lot of the time. Not normally when it's this cold, however. So anyway, I am going to share with you today my top 7 picks for nonfiction for 2024. I love to read. I love to read a variety of things, but one thing I have been pretty consistent about in my whole life is sprinkling nonfiction in amongst the fiction that I read. So today you get my nonfiction picks. So the first one is called The Power of Vulnerability. It was written by Brene Brown. It is actually an audio course, and she has done TED Talks, and she is a shame researcher. And I found this fascinating because I am not very good at labeling emotions. All my emotions end up coming out sideways by being flooded, and then it's tears. And I called it the gift of the leaky faucet. And whether I am too sad, too happy, too anything, angry, to whatever, it comes out as tears, and it drives me crazy because it just feels like a weakness of mine where I cannot tell you what I'm feeling until I've had 3 days to analyze it and then explain it to myself, to explain it to anybody else. So she does a great job of explaining the nuance of emotion. So the fact that there is a difference between envy and jealousy and compassion and empathy and what those are, and can give tangible examples. It's a phenomenal read. So anything by Brene Brown, I highly recommend. I think she has a Netflix special as well. And I purchased her Atlas of the Heart book, which has beautiful pictures in it and great explanations and just great clarity on what the difference in certain emotions are. She said in the synopsis that this was a culmination of everything she has learned in the last 12 years. And I was just like to get in on somebody's learning journey over 12 years, you know you're going to get some good nuggets in there. So, highly recommend Brene Brown. Number 6 is The Book of Waking Up by Seth Haynes. It is the experiencing of the divine love. And if you're anything like me, you grow up in the bubble that Christianity can be. You get very quickly from, okay, I'm saved by grace, to works. And you get into a relationship with God where it's a lot of striving, and that's not the way it's meant to be. So this is a great reminder of starting your day off with receiving from God his love. And then we get to work out of that. But it's not a work for that. It's a work out of. So that was a great book. Number 5. Number 5 is When Godly People Do Ungodly Things, Arming Yourself in the Age of Seduction. This was by Beth Moore, and she does a fabulous job of reminding us, but for the grace of God, go I. If you think, oh, I could never, don't say it. Just don't jinx yourself like that, because but for the grace of God, I could commit murder. And if you've had children, you might understand that a little bit better. I could do anything. it's a great reminder to have compassion and grace for people, especially in this day and age where somebody's fall from grace is now plastered on all of social media for everyone to see. So have grace. Number four is No Other Gods. No Other Gods is by Kelly Minter, and the subtitle is Confronting Our Modern Day Idols. This was a fabulous read. I highlighted so much of it, and it was really great explanation of how good things in our life can easily become idols because the priority is off, the attachment is off. And whether it be serving at your local church or, helping out in nursery, or you name it. A person can become an idol. That was something that was quite the awakening in my own life. We can put our husbands up on pedestals. We can put our pastors up on pedestals, and they don't belong there. They are people. And even working at the church can become an idol. And anyway, I could go on and on about that topic, but I won't. So No Other Gods was a great reminder of what our priorities should be and not allowing good things to become idols in our life. Number three was Grace for the Good Girl. This was Letting Go of the Try Hard Life, and it is by Emily P. Freeman. I recently came across her probably in the last year. She has a podcast, and I have read another of her books was The Next Right Thing, and that's the name of her podcast as well. She does a great job of breaking down things into bite-sized pieces. I love her focus on simplicity, and we can overcomplicate things and put importance on theology, and not that we shouldn't grow, we should grow, but are we doing daily the little things that we should be doing? One of which is just receiving God's love so we can work out of that. Again, you can see the theme through all of these. It is working out of love and not out of obligation. Number two is a hard read. This is When a Friendship Falls Apart by Elizabeth Liang Thompson. Forgive me if I'm butchering that. The subtitle is Finding God's Path for Healing, Forgiveness, and Maybe Letting Go. This was a crucial read for me. I recently had a friendship fall apart that was a long-standing friendship, and it was very painful to walk through that and to have a tangible source of just compassion and understanding and examples of when you should pull back or when you should fight for. We all have different capacities for things at different times in our life, and man, can just be a painful process to lose friendships. And I feel for anybody that's been in that situation, and highly recommend that read if you're going through that. Number one, this is my favorite. Lysa Terkeurst. She has walked me through some hard stuff, man, and her books, like dominoes, they have just been there for me. So her newest book is called I Want to Trust You, But I Don't. And there's a long subtitle, so bear with me. It is Moving Forward When You Are Skeptical of Others, Afraid of What God Will Allow, and Doubtful of Your Own Discernment. And I just, when I read it, I was like, oh, she dares say it. She dares to say it. And I love it because she lets you into her own personal story, her hurts, and she does it in such a tasteful way. She does not slander anybody. She just is vulnerable, and her vulnerability, which I think a lot of us feel when we're vulnerable, we feel weak, but man, she has a vast amount of strength. And I found she is always able to put into words what my soul is feeling, what my soul has been through or has hurt. And she can give the inner feelings words like nobody else. And I'm just so thankful to her for being faithful to share her story. And she has also written several books called Boundaries and Goodbye. Highlighted that, ton of that. And then she also wrote It's Not Meant to Be This Way, and she wrote Forgiving What You Can't Forget. And all 4 of these books were 5-star for me and just really helped me heal through my own personal journey of hurt. So anyway, those are my top 7 nonfiction picks from 2024. I hope you could hear me over the traffic and the animals. I will attempt to edit this now. I'm still getting used to looking into the lens and making good eye contact with a lens. It's very strange. If you have too much eye contact, it can be very intimidating. If you have too little eye contact, people think you're like lying or something. I don't know. But there's this nice balance, and I'm still trying to find it, especially when you're not talking to an actual person, but to a lens. So bear with me as I learn to be brave and be in front of the camera instead of behind it. So thanks for joining me today. Please leave your recommendations below of what nonfiction I should be reading in 2025. I would love to hear your suggestions.